Hello everyone, this is Neha Tulsyan from Crescent Creation. Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. It's that time of the year when few of us lawn fawn fans come together to bring you some lovely lawn fawn inspirations. And for my card today, I created this adorable mini slimline card using some latest products from Lawn Fawn. And as always, we have giveaway for this hop too, and this time we have two sponsors, so that means two prizes for you. And I'm going to talk about it later in this video. For my card today, I created the background using lots of hearts background stencil. And I kind of played with the stencil until I really liked the background I wanted to use for my card. So here I have my white cardstock and I'm inking the first stencil using Candid Apple Distress Oxide ink. I'm using my blending brushes to do all my inking today. And with my next stencil, I'm blending Mustard Seed Distress Oxide ink. I liked this background, the red and yellow combination. I thought it was cute. For my next background, I thought of rainbows. So here I am inking my first stencil with three colors. I'm using Candid Apple, Mustard Seed and Prize Ribbon Distress Oxide inks here. In my mind, I divided the stencil in three halves and that helped me get the three colors on the stencil. And then I brought in my second stencil, and this time I inked the stencil using Ripe Persimon, Mowed Lawn and Dusty Conquered Distress Oxide inks. So I inked my first stencil with the first, third and fifth color of the rainbow. And then I brought in my second stencil and inked the stencil with second, fourth and sixth color of the rainbow. And there it is, my beautiful rainbow hearts background. For my next background, I decided to use some stencil paste. So here I'm inking my first stencil with Prize Ribbon Distress Oxide ink. And for my second stencil, I brought in my silver paste from Lawn Fawn. And I'm going to go ahead and apply the paste all over the stencil using my palette knife. Just be careful to move fast because these pastes dry really quickly. I tend to go a little slow while applying paste over my stencils. I try not to waste any paste, and because of that sometimes I forget that the paste might dry on me, and these pastes really dry very fast. I'm going to show you what happened to me in the next background. So I kept my blue background aside to dry, and now I'm working on my fourth and the last background. For this one, I'm first inking my white cardstock with Mild Lavender, Victorian Velvet and Dusty Conquered Distress Oxide inks. I'm going back and forth between the colors to get a good blend here, and I just love the look of this very light to dark purple background. Once my background is ready, I'm going to go ahead and bring my first stencil and ink the whole background using Dusty Conquered Distress Oxide ink. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring my second stencil and put it in place and apply Fairy Dust stencil paste from Lawn Fawn all over the stencil. And this is where I went really slow while applying the paste, and by the time I reached the bottom and tried to remove the stencil, my top paste was almost dry and the paste kind of lifted along with the stencil, which I'll be fixing here in a moment. Of course, you cannot tell in this video if I was slow because I edited the video to be fast, but you get me, right? You need to be fast. Next, I kept all my backgrounds to dry, and here I have stamped all the images from the two stamp sets, Sent with Love and the add-on set, on a white cardstock using some Copic friendly ink. I'm using some Copic markers to color all these images. To color my skunks, I'm using some warm gray markers. For the darker parts of the skunk, I'm using W9, W7, W6 and W5 Copic markers. I'm using R85 to add a little bit of pink to his belly and the cheeks and the ears. For the lighter parts, I'm using W3, W1 and W00. Using my black gel pen, I'm going to go ahead and add back my eyes and mouth of the skunk that got lost in the color. And here is a small tip: if your gel pen is not working, you can just go ahead and use the pen on your fingertips. It helps in the movement of the ink and it works for me every time. I colored the rest of the skunks off camera, and here I'm using some R markers to color all the hearts. I'm using R39, R29 and R24 Copic markers. And now for the giveaway. As I said earlier, we have two sponsors for this hop. The first one is Not Too Shabby Shop, and they are giving away $25 shopping spree to their store. It's a small business owned by Jamie, and they carry a ton of products along with Lawn Fawn and different companies, and they also have their own line of stamps, dies and paper products. Our second sponsor is Hobby Hoppers. They're giving away a $50 shopping spree to their store. It's a Melbourne, Australia based store. The owner is Trish and she loves Lawn Fawn and she always is stocked nicely with Lawn Fawn products and especially with their latest release. You can find a lot of other products including planner products and washi tapes in her store. Hobby Hoppers are currently shipping to America, Australia and New Zealand. So make sure to let us know where you are from while you're commenting on each video. The winners will be announced on January 30th. I'm gonna go ahead and link both the stores for you in the description box below. So don't forget to check them out and see what amazing goodies they carry. And thank you so much to both our sponsors for sponsoring our hop today. So here I'm almost done coloring all my images. I'm gonna go ahead and die cut them off camera. And here is a quick look at all the backgrounds that we created earlier. I love all the 4 backgrounds and I wanted to use all of them for my cards today, but since it's a hop and I cannot take a whole lot of time, I decided to only make 1 card using the 4th background that we created. I die cut 2 rectangles out of this background. I'm using the Mini Slimline dies from Lawn Fawn. The small rectangle that I die cut, I chose to die cut it from the very bottom of the background where there was no stenciling done. I'll use that later for stamping the sentiment. So here I'm applying some double-sided tape behind my stenciled background and I'm gluing it to a purple cardstock that I die cut out of the largest die from the Mini Slimline dies. Now it's time to glue all my images. So here I'm starting with gluing my heart banner. Now before gluing any other image, I'm first going to go ahead and work on my sentiment. I'm stamping the sentiment. This card is sent with love using some black ink on that small rectangle die cut that we die cut earlier. And I should have known better to use my MISTI tool than using my acrylic block here, because now I did not get a nice crisp black image and I have to go over with a black Sharpie. So if you have a MISTI tool, always try and stamp your sentiments using that, because then you can go over your sentiment couple of times until you get that nice black crisp image. I took my time here to go over the sentiment, and once I was done, I'm gonna go ahead and glue this to my card using some foam tape. Here I'm just making sure it's nice and straight and centered. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue my 2 skunk images using some liquid glue. For the rest of my accessory images that my skunks are holding, I'm going to go ahead and glue them with some foam squares. Adding a bow to my right side skunk, making her a girl skunk. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece to a card base that measures 3.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And I did not like that big white border all around, so I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit of the card base from both sides. Next, I'm going to go ahead and glue the 2 skunks hugging each other to the inside of the card. That just in my mind feels like I'm completing the scene. In the outside scene, the 2 skunks are meeting each other, and in the inside, they are hugging each other. And as final touches, I'm going to go ahead and add some love heart embellishments all over this card. You can find this and a lot of other embellishments in Crescent Creation shop. And that finishes my card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to comment on each video in this hop for a chance to win one of the 2 prizes. Here are a few more videos that you might like to watch. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day.